And you're live.
Hi, Luminaires. My name is Maitland, and today I'm going to talk about the February energy update 2021, and I am here with Colleen.
Hi, Maitland.
Hi.
Hi again.
Before we begin, because we're doing this live, I want to make sure that you can hear me and see me okay.
Yes, I was just going to ask the same question. So if everyone could let us know that the video and sound is good, we would love it. Yes.
Great. So let's talk about the energy on February. It's a fun name to say, February. But I have so much I want to talk about. I need to get in the body more. I'm going to talk about an overall energy shift. And then I want to talk about the chakras that are going to be challenged, the ones that are going to be needed, and the ones that are going to be supported the most for the month of February. Even though February is really short, it's like it's cut in half. So the first part of it, like up to the first 20 days, that's still under the Mercury retrograde. If you're really sensitive to the retrogrades, then I would say hunker in a little bit more. It's not about not doing anything and not making any decisions, but it's not about making foundational decisions that last a long time. So those decisions, I mean, like signing contracts and doing things of that nature. But the Mercury in retrograde is getting you to get a little bit more removed from saying, I agree to this, that, and that, let's go, and slowing you down a little bit so that you have more time, which is what January was here for you to do, which was to get your mind into the right place. So intuitively, you would know what direction that you were going in and where your goals were. Because if you remember back in 2020, let's pretend that was a really long time ago.
Way back when.
Mm-hmm. At the end of it, it was all this pushing you to tear apart your beliefs, to get a little frustrated, to shake things off of you so that you had more awareness about your abilities, your psychic abilities, your sensitivities, your clairs, all of those things. And then it was like the planets and everything at the end of last year all got together and lined up and was kind of like launching you into that direction. But then this retrograde is kind of sitting on your head saying, we don't really want you to make the actions right now, even though 2021 is all about the creativity and the actions of doing things. It's all intuitive. It has a feminine energy. It's going to be more about unity and coming together and the efforts of humanitarianism, humanitarianism. And that's going to feel very good and very refreshing coming off of 2020. But I'm saying that because we want to give you a little bit more time. Because what you were thinking, what you were doing, the internal work, it's like you have an extension on it in a way to get very clear about where you want to come from and get those ideas in place to support new belief systems. When I say new, I mean the newness like you've never done it before new, not, oh, I haven't worn this in a very long time. I'm going to see if it fits me and try on something that you maybe have already experienced. I mean, get out of the box, get out of the closet, get out of your house, go explore newness that you haven't done. With new can be uncomfortable, but uncomfortable is not scary. Uncomfortable shows you that you're open to allowing a new outcome. It's when uncomfortable gets really prevalent or big is where you want to step back. Because I know a lot of luminaires are saying, with all of this happening, I don't know how far to really push myself and what's beneficial and where's the point where it's not beneficial. So I would say the acknowledgement of being uncomfortable, uneasy, And if it's small enough where it's manageable for you, then you can use it to power your new experience, your newness. But if it's too big for you, then it's something that you need to back away from and accept. So February is bringing out more of the creativity, more of the intuition, more of this hope energy that you like to have around you, the one that like everything is going to be okay. And you're going to start to see globally more humanitarian efforts where more nonprofits and groups and leaders that aren't in the government that are going to step forward and say, I have a voice and I can help and I can do this. And you know what? Most of them are going to be women. I like that. The reason I like that is because feminine energy has a softer edge to it and more of a healing. And we've been in a high moving, fast paced patriarchal lineage for some time. And so this is the pendulum swinging back into the feminine control. This doesn't mean I approve of 100% feminine control. What I like is the balance. But to find balance, sometimes you have to swing one way and then you go back the other way and you catch yourself and then you swing this way and then you start to balance out. And this is what we're feeling globally. Globally.
There was a question right before you said that, and it was, is this globally or just in the U.S.?
Globally.
So when you're giving these energy updates, you're talking about global energy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, all of the people feeling different things. And February it's a waking up month. It's a getting more in touch with your psychic ability month. And then after February 20th, where the Mercury in retrograde goes away, we have this last week of February that's a lot lifted. It's kind of like if you were walking around and you had a string on your chest and it was like, and it just like picks you up from here. It's no longer like leading you from your head going, here we go, think about this, look at this, do this. It's like, oh, did you feel that little moment of happiness and joy? Feel that. And we haven't had that kind of refreshing. Can I say refreshingness? Refreshingness?
Sure, why not? We know what that means.
Refreshingness in globally in a long time because of pressures of war, power, pandemic, and things of that nature. So there is the light at the end of the tunnel that I said was there in 2020. You're going to start seeing it at the end of February. Yay! So with this, what's going to be needed? I'm going to jump a little bit ahead because normally I talk more about the energy, but I want to talk about the chakras because this whole awakening that we're experiencing, coming away from the physical and prioritizing routines and business and money to changing it to prioritizing self-care, community, family, connection. It's just different qualities. And when globally, when we focus on those different qualities and we're doing that more and more together, we increase this mass consciousness, the field of consciousness, and it creates a unity feeling. When vibrations get together that are alike, it's not like a mathematical equation like 1 + 1 = 2. It's actually like 1 + 1 = 4, and 4 + 4 = 12, and 12 + 12 = 96. Like it grows and grows and grows. As soon as they get into each other, it makes it bigger. So when one person is thinking love and the next person is thinking and feeling love and they get together, it's just so much bigger. And that's happening a ton all over the earth. So this mass consciousness is increasing with the vibrations of self-care, humanity, family, connection to people. Like we need to take care of the people. We need to take care of life. We need to take care of the earth. The earth movement, that's going to be a big one coming this year. That's going to be fun for all of you Luminaires out there that are already kind of witchy or Celtic or Gaia-centric. You're going to go, hey, you're finally looking at me and my abilities and my passion and my love. It's good to see you. Whereas before they were like, what are you doing? Lighting a candle for what? What do you mean the earth has a voice and a heartbeat? That's strange. And you're like, it's actually not strange. It's been around for thousands and thousands of years, since the beginning of time. It's like mass consciousness is going to come into that and go, wow, this is a beautiful way to live. Okay. I didn't mean to get off on that tangent, but that's coming later this year, and I like it a lot. But with mass consciousness waking up to the kindness of people and prioritizing people and people's needs and humanitarian efforts, you're going to start seeing that in the voices of the new political people, the new government people worldwide, and the new motivational speakers, and especially the new way that the millennials, so if you're like 35 or younger, is that what it is? I think that's what it is. Something like that.
Sounds about right.
That instead of jumping in and going, oh, I'm going to do college and take on a traditional job and do all this and make the money and have the title and be a good person that way, they're like, actually, I'm not going to prioritize all that. You want me to come in from 8 to 5, but I'm going to tell you I'm not good until 11, and I need to leave at 2. And you're going to start asking that to prioritize yourself. And you already have been all for like the last like 3, 4, 5, 6 years. But all it's created is upset and anger from the generation above you. But now when you're doing it in 2021, the generations above you go, oh, we can see why now. We can see how it's working. So you're going to reap the fruits of your labor that you've been putting into it, that the millennials have been putting into the change of how to self-prioritize. And we'll start to see a lot more of that in February. Companies are going to settle down and settle into their new nests and not demand such strict hours, and be proud to say, we want you to self-prioritize as you do your work, because we find out you generate better work for us. And that movement of taking care of self, health, family, like nutrition, physical, mental, emotional health is going to be this new kind of fad. And it turns into awareness, which turns into a belief, which turns into something that we maintain. And then we start to look at our environment. We have to have a healthy environment for us to be safe. And that's when it turns in later in the year to like the focus on the earth so heavily, which is super nice. What?
Nothing.
Okay.
I'm smiling because you're smiling. That's all.
Because we're finally feeling the happiness. So for those in the millennial age, that's what you're getting globally. And then for those of you that are super sensitive, even if you're just in the phase of kind of waking up to all of this and trying to understand the conversations about energy, like why do we do an energy update? It's to help those that are really sensitive with their own energies to navigate what's coming at them, and to be able to acknowledge the movement and say, oh, here's how I choose to be a part of it. Like, this is here to help you make your decisions, not to tell you what to do. But those that are really sensitive, when we look at the chakras, it's going to be really important for you to root and ground yourself. So red root chakra is going to be needed the most. Again, need it, gotta have it. Yes, you need to look at it. And it's interesting because a lot of people are saying, well, I my voice sounds so different today. They'll say, well, I want to be up there. I want to vibrate really, really high, and I want to transcend, and I want to do all these things, that they forget to look at the lower chakras. And that's a big mistake. And I don't want you to end up focusing so hard in one direction that you forget to look at the other parts of it.
It seems more important now than ever.
To look at the whole package. You know, I don't want to sit here and talk so heavily about how you need the red root chakra that you forget the higher ones. I want you to look at the whole package, but the one that's going to require you to be more steady and aware of its existence and what it's doing for you is the red root chakra, which is all about grounding and centering. This is the lowest vibration. I just burped. You know what's fun?
What's
Is
that?
when we do this live, she can't edit the burp out. Okay, when this is the lowest vibration that your human body makes. Isn't that cool? It's the furthest away from like your natural higher spirit self. It is the closest one to earth. It's like your earth connection, your earth plug. And I want you to be plugged into the earth because she can give so much energy to you to help you rejuvenate, to like just get your wits back about you. Nature is going to be so important. Okay, that's later in the year, but need your red root chakra. Do grounding exercises, breath work out your body, stretch, sweat, get hot and sweat and cool off. Like use hydrotherapy. These are really, really good for you. The one that's going to be supported the most, I would say, is the sacral chakra. It's the one right above it, right beneath the belly button. It's orange. And it does a lot with creativity, womb. It's giving birth, design. It's where a lot of the intuition, gut instincts, and things of that nature come from. And that's going to be supported because globally we're looking at another movement, kind of like we had in August in 2020, where we go, oh, well, that's pretty. That's good. You're getting another show and tell of what can happen and possibility. And so you're thinking and you're trying it on, but it's not about making it. Just hold off a little bit until after February 20th to kind of go do it and apply the action. Because the rest of 2021, really 2021 is all about putting your creative action into play and come from an intuitive being rather than a logical being. So overall 2021 is that way, but the beginning of February is just like see it, acknowledge it, go, wow, try it on, see how it fits, put it back on the rack, try the next one on, play with it. And then at the end of the month, you'll say, okay, this is what I want to do. And that's when you can really hunker in and lay, what is it? Claws. Sink your claws into it. That's what I wanted to say. Sink your claws into it and make it a reality and part of your foundation. And then the one that's the chakra that's going to be challenged the most is going to be your third eye. And the third eye is all the indigo. It's on your forehead, and it's really intuitive about all of your clairs and how you're processing that information out there. And it's going to be for a lot of people on Earth, a lot of people on Earth. February is going to be the month where you shake off your crazy, where you let go of the what's wrong with me? Why am I thinking this way? Why do I know that? And I don't know how I know that. February closes the gap of you doubting your abilities. It blends together that the brain goes, what I am doing is real. Because the energy that's happening and all the alignments and the energies out in the big ether around the earth is saying, okay, we woke you up, we put you in a pressure cooker, we gave you many examples to come out of your body and to use all your senses, not just your 5, but all of your senses. And then now we gave you 2021, and it's like, we want you to connect who you really are. Your intuitive person and body, and what are your goals that way. And then now in February, it is, okay, here's your chance. Try it on. Make sure this is where you're going, because your careers and your likes and your dislikes, all of that is shifting and changing, and you're acknowledging it. It's not going unnoticed. So you're trying it on, all that stuff, right? And then that energy that the earth is saying is like, okay, you don't need to doubt it anymore. We're just going to bring that in, the logic and your intuition. So the majority of highly sensitive people on earth right now that are teetering and struggling with their ability, going, I don't know if it's real or not, I don't know if I can trust it, this seems uneasy or unnatural, but I like it, let that go. You move through it. And the reason this is happening is that mass consciousness thing that I was talking about. More and more people are waking up to their abilities. And therefore, when that happens, that raises the vibration globally, that makes it a possibility for those who need to make that jump from a little bit of doubting to full on trusting themselves or their abilities, what they are able to do. It makes it easier for them to make that leap, because the energy is already existing in many, many, many places. Does it make sense?
Yes, absolutely.
So this one, the third eye is getting the challenge. It's going, wait, is it? I don't know. Oh. And it's learning how to relax and not have that tension there. A lot of people on earth were trained that tension of, did I get it right or wrong? You know, the acknowledgement and all that stuff, that it's healthy and that's what you need. Because if you have that, then you can be graded and then you can get the gold star sticker. And then you can say, see, everybody, I tested high. But this isn't going to matter anymore. The test stuff, I want to say a bad word. The testing stuff is that word. Not good. We don't need it anymore. It's not how you're going to define who you are moving forward. That's not the method. And so for the majority of people on earth who are sensitive and in that position, you're going to be letting that go. And you're not going to go back to it. You're not going to say, I'm double validating myself and making sure my abilities are real. And so the third eye has to relearn how to be authentic without the testing skills, without the validation skills, without the gold sticker or the red X. The logic and the intuition will just marry a little bit more. And then after February, when the majority of that happens, feel the domino release for the rest of the year for the other people. It's just super nice. So again, the one that's going to be needed the most is the grounding, the red root chakra. Think physical body, breath work, staying in your body, grounded. The one that's going to be supported is the creativity. That's the sacral or navel chakra, the orange one. And that vibration has a lot of emotional energy. It's like water. It's very fluid. It's very feminine feeling. So you might have the urges in February to really place mindful care into small work, where you might have seen that work before as a nuisance. Oh, I have to dust again. And this place is always getting so dirty. And then you get out the little feather duster. We had a feather duster. And then you go to dust things off. And it's not a nuisance. You're smiling. You found something fun in it. You're like, hello, little object. I remember getting you. I love you still. Hello, TV. Hello, this. Hello, my things. And you feel this relationship and this honoring, this responsibility that you have, that you created and you brought this into your environment, and that you're coexisting with them. because whatever object is in your environment, you're sharing its energy and it is sharing your energy. And so you start to like it and you connect to this meaning and this purpose of why this action is in your life. It's very sweet. I like it. So the smaller nuisance things tend to roll away and more purpose comes in. That's all sacral. And then again, the one that's going to be challenged the most is the third eye, because it's going to require you to move forward with your intuition and stop battling it, stop trying to test it and validate it. In general, February is more soft. It is a more inward, like an introvert's playground, where you observe more and you connect to your intuitive abilities. So those of you who feel like you're moving more dense or slower on this path of awakening, February will feel comfortable. And that's a nice reprieve because we haven't had a ton of comfort in the last year or so. And then once you have that feeling, then you can start looking at how to ground yourself and begin to apply the action of the knowledge that you've gained. After like February 20th, you can put it into play. For those, I want to say that February is also like a clairaudient month. And that sounds weird if I say it like that. But do you know when we look at all the abilities that humans have with their sensitivities? Hearing voices is one of them, and it's called clairaudient. And there's going to be a lot of voices in February. The reason I want to mention it is because a lot of times when people hear voices, they think they are crazy, which is the thing I was just talking about, blending. And I don't want you to think that you are crazy, but at any time that your sensitivities are bothering you to the point where you can't live your life the way that you would like to live it, then it's time to include somebody else in your life to help you. And it could be a therapist, it could be a counselor, it could be a friend. But I don't want you to stay quiet about it. So hearing voices in the back of your head, or feeling like you're not alone, feeling like something is encroaching on you, feeling like something is about to happen or right up with you, or hearing your name called. Most of the, I don't know the word, paranormal. Most of the paranormal activity that's going to be around is going to be the audio, but secondly, it would be the feel, where you feel something is happening. And if you're not mindful of this, if you're not just conscious of it, that you're feeling that way, you might mistake it for anxiety, and you might mistake it for like freaking out. That's anxiety. Worry, but you won't know what you're worried about. Like you feel like you're prepping for a test that's never coming. That kind of a thing. There's no test. And that when you have those feelings in February, I want you to be more aware that, okay, it could be this merging of energy, those voices and that feeling coming from another dimensional plane. We've mentioned in the past that timelines are looping and folding on each other like it's a little nest, because time's not linear. And it's not neatly stacked or something like that. It's just kind of all together. So all your past lives and your future lives and this life that you're living right now, it's all happening at once. That's so comfortable to think about, I know.
So is the clear sensitivity, I'm assuming that's what you're talking about when you're talking about the feeling.
Yes.
Is that us feeling other lifetimes?
Yes. Yeah, when it's coming in like that and you feel like something's coming, but nothing's happening. Like you check the news, you read this, you read that, and you're like, oh, my psychic abilities must be on, so something bad is happening. If it hasn't already occurred, maybe it's a premonition and something is happening. Breathe. It's not it. It's you being so more expansive and aware that your other timelines that you have are just kind of pushing in on you. So if you calm down rather than trying to figure it out and problem solve it, the logic thing, and you fall into an intuitive way, you can start to step into those other lives and see who you were then and how you were behaving and what lesson it was and how it plays a role into the current situation that you're in. It's there for betterment, for knowledge, for growth. It's not scary. It's not meant to muddle you up. It'll muddle you. Does this make sense?
Yes.
So that's February. Even though it's short, it's packing in a lot of good things. Hope, coming in kind of chill, a little more introvert, trying on those skills again, getting a little bit more boosted, more humanitarian, all about self but unity, blending logic with intuition. And then at the end, that's where you start to solidify it and you put it into the ground and then you run with it for the rest of the year. And it's going to be a great year. The companies that are made, the people who come forward, oh, yeah, it's going to be so good. I'm excited for you.
Thank you, Maitland.
You're welcome. Did I cover everything?
I think you did. I think you did.
This has been very fun. Thank you for letting me do it live. And I know that we're not taking questions on anything else, but were there any questions about the material that I presented to make it more clear?
There were some questions that were about February, but not necessarily on the content to make it more clear. Do you want to take a couple of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's about February.
Okay. So Myra Adams was asking what kind of investments to make in February 2021.
Oh, with money?
Yes.
It's still going to be material possession like gold, silver, and property. And when we look at investments in a global way, I would say if you're looking at your cash and what you have in the banks, I would keep a third of it in the banks. I would take a third of it and invest it in properties. And then I would take another third of it and then invest it into, I wouldn't necessarily right now put it in United States because the United States has a lot of adjusting to make. Kind of same like Greece is going to make some more adjustments. Brazil is still growing, as same as Argentina is growing and coming together. But China is going to have a very powerful stance coming. England is growing as well as Ireland. So if you want to find companies in those places that are growing, to invest in those and to have them expand. But US is going to have a little bit of a reset. It's not going to be a devastating one at all. So it's not like super scary or anything. But it's taking the power of finances and money away from the federal and spreading it out more into property, trade. The whole Bitcoin thing is going to come back in, not really this year, but it's going to be talked about more, and it's not going to be as volatile. That's the word I was looking for. It's not going to be volatile. So that's good stuff. But if you're looking for security, I would go for property, and then I would go for silver and gold.
Thank you. And I have one more question. Is full disclosure still going to happen, and is it going to happen in February? I'll make it a little bit more specific.
You'll make it more specific?
Yeah, I'm making it more specific. She was asking, is full disclosure
I
still
want it
gonna
to happen in February. It's not going to happen in February.
2021?
Oh, yeah, it's totally happening in 2021. It's going to happen in other countries first before in the United States. And, but it is going to happen. I'm excited. But it's not going to be once there's full disclosure that everybody sees aliens and they come to Earth. It's not like that. It's just going to be, we admit that they're real and we've been in contact with them. And then it's going to be up to the masses of people to bring it forward, which is a good example of February. As well as when we talked about before the media, you know how media, the media and marketing, people are sensationalizing the news and getting people to behave in the way that they want them to behave, which is pretty much out of fear and to buy their product and make money. That the masses of people are going to stand up and say, hey, we're not going to take this. We love each other and we want everybody to be okay. So now we need a new government or new governing law to rule over marketing and news so that there's no more sensationalizing, no more control, no more manipulation. And the mass takes care of that. Like you come forward and you sign things. And we're over here helping you out so tremendously to say your voice is powerful. You got to put it together. Same with disclosure is the masses of people need to get together and say, come on, we're here out of love and we are going to welcome them forward. No, we're not going to wait for our government to say, introducing to you the Pleiadians. Like that's not how it's going to be. You know, the more and more the everyday people are going to say, I had an experience and I said hi. And now I have pictures. And look, this is a picture with me with them, or this is a video, or this is an audio recording. And it's going to come out more and more and more until people are like, oh, I've heard enough of that now it's kind of common. And I'm waiting for my introduction kind of a thing. So it's going to be slow. But disclosure is pretty much the government's admitting. And that's totally happening. It's just not exactly in February, but it's pretty quick right after. The masses, this February is bringing the masses together. So we're going to have a lot of benefit out of that. Those are like 2 out of many.
Thank you.
You're welcome. This was fun.
Yes, this was fun. You have a lot of thank yous. We love you, Maitland. Thank you, thank you.
You're welcome. Have a great rest of your day, and I'll see you later, alligators.
I have some new ones that just popped up here. You ready?
Yes.
Take care, polar bear. Have we used that one before?
No. Take care, polar bear. I like it.
Can't stay, blue jay.
I've heard that one. Can't stay, blue jay. Take care, polar bear.
Be sweet, parakeet.
Oh.
Bye-bye, butterfly.
A bird kiss jellyfish.
Thank you so much, Maitland.
I'll see most of you in the morn, unicorns.
Bye.
In the